Hello everyone, FPL Raptor here and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel and a daily price change prediction video. In these daily videos, we bring you the latest news with respect to potential price rises and potential price falls. If you're looking to win your mini leagues, improve your overall rank and build up your squad value, you are in the right place. Just a reminder that at the weekends, there's a lot of transfer activity happening, so these predictions can change minute by minute and hour by hour. So do make sure you stay up to date wherever possible by heading over to the Fantasy Football Fix website at fantasyfootballfix.com or by downloading our free app and enabling push notifications so that you can make the most informed decisions possible. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on some Chelsea players with two potentially going up and two potentially going down, as well as some budget enablers in both midfield and attack. So, without further ado, let's get on to today's video. So guys, as always, we're going to start with the actual predicted price changes and then we'll go into some statistical deep dives with some of the players that are potentially changing in price. So what I've done is I've made the most of the watch list function and I've just selected the players that I think are most of note that are predicted to rise in price or fall in price at the time of recording, which is around 5 PM on Saturday. What I would say is that there are other players that predict to go up and down in price, but they've got fairly low ownership, and I can't discuss everyone here. So if you've got a player that you think might be rising in price or falling in price, head over to our website, check for yourself at fantasyfootballfix.com. But these are the players that I think will be most of note to everyone interested in this video. So as you can see, there are five actually, that are predicted to rise in price tonight, and then 3 that are predicted to fall in price. So the clear and obvious one that you would expect based on the fact that he's now scored 3 in 3 is Ben Chilwell. He's at 105.7% progress at the time of recording. And remember, we need them to be above 100% for us to predict a price rise. And he's rising at 15% per hour. So that means by the time the price changes happen at 2:30 AM British summertime, he should be well over that, probably 150% minimum if it continues at this rate. So I can say with relative confidence, we expect Ben Chilwell to be going up in price tonight. The other one is Hwang, who's over 100%. He's at 104.7%. He scored for Wolves today. He looks like he's nailed on now at a very, very cheap price of 5.6 million. So it looks like he's going to go up in price, and we're going to discuss him in the next section. He looks like a great option, 3.6% per hour. So once again, I expect him to be maybe 130, 140% by the end of the evening. Pinnock is also predicted to go up in price tonight. Remember, we had Janssen predicted to go up in price a few days ago as well, and he did in fact go up in price. So Pinnock, it looks like there's a lot of interest in those Brentford defenders. Not surprising given their fixtures over the next 3 after the Leicester game. So I think Pinnock is a fantastic option. However, he isn't at 100% yet, and he's only rising at 0.5% per hour, which means that he's not being brought in by a lot of managers per hour. So do keep an eye on it. It might be that that slows down and he doesn't quite go up in price tonight. Then there are 2 more. One is Rowe, who got a brilliant, I think it was 13-point haul, which is absolutely fantastic for those of you that own him. I know a lot of people had him on the bench, so hard luck if you did indeed have him on the bench, but an absolutely brilliant performance. He's at 63.8% at the time of recording, so nowhere near 100%, but he is rising at 3.8% per hour. So by the time the evening swings around, if he keeps rising at that rate, then there is a chance that he does go up. I would predict that I think it will be quite close, and I do think there's a possibility that he doesn't go up in price tonight. If that is the case, then we can let you know tomorrow and update you. So he'll probably be right on the border. So if you're looking to bring Rowe in, I would check later this evening before you make your moves. The 5th and final player that's predicted to go up in price is one that completely threw me off. It's very rare that you will see a player that is negative a number, i.e. negative progress, they're closer to a price fall, but is predicted to rise in price tonight. And the reason for that is Mason Mount, who scored 24 points today, got a hat-trick and an assist. He's at minus 47.5% progress, which means a lot of people were trying to bring him out last week and in the past weeks. Because of his 24-point haul today, he's at 14.1% per hour. That means that he could make up that 150% deficit that he needs to be predicted for a price rise. I've got a sneaky suspicion Mount might be tomorrow. But if he is continuing to be brought in at over 15% per hour, then he will rise tonight. So keep an eye on it, but I've got a feeling that Mount will be Sunday night as opposed to Saturday night. And then there are 3 players predicted to fall in price. They are Sarr, Lukaku, and Alonso. I would say the only one that's definite is Alonso, because he's well over 100% already, minus 100%, and he's falling at minus 15% per hour. So you can see that Chilwell is rising at over 15% an hour, and Alonso is falling at over 15% an hour. So that there is a high likelihood that almost everyone that is making the Alonso switch is just going straight to Chilwell, and I don't really blame them, to be honest. I think if I owned Alonso, I'd just bite the bullet and make that change myself. It looks like Chilwell is the favourite, scoring so many goals as well. And of course, the other two are Sarr and Lukaku. Sarr was brought off on the 60th minute today in the Watford game, so the fixtures are really tough coming up, and he didn't perform great. I think Watford have scored 5 goals. I'm recording this towards the end of the game. I think they scored 5 goals, and Sarr wasn't involved, so I understand why owners are selling him. And obviously, Lukaku is injured. We don't know how many games for. It might be that if you didn't sell him for game week 8, you might just want to hold off selling Lukaku and just assess, because it might be that he's back sooner than we think. And you can see he's currently 11.6 million. So if you brought him in at 11.5 million, him falling from 11.6 to 11.5 doesn't affect your selling price. You will sell him at 11.5 million despite the price fall. So I would just wait. If you haven't sold Lukaku already, I would just wait. But if you have, obviously that doesn't matter at all. So those are the notable players. 5 predicted price rises, 3 predicted price falls. I would say that Chilwell and Alonso are the most obvious of the two, with obviously Chilwell going up and Alonso going down. In the next section, we're going to do a quick comparison between Smith Rowe and Hwang, because they're both budget options, both have great fixtures coming up, and both look like they could be nailed in their teams with really good attacking returns so far. So we're going to do a bit of a comparison between the two and look who we should be prioritising for the upcoming game weeks. So guys, as I said, last little bit today is just going to be a comparison between Hwang and Smith Rowe. It might be that you can only fit one of the two in which case then it's a pretty easy decision for you either way. You can only get a midfielder, you can only get an attacker. But if you're on a wild card, or you can restructure your team, you're looking to downgrade an attacker or a midfielder, and you're not sure which of the two to prioritise, just thought I'd have a little bit of a discussion about them. And even if you can only bring in one, you can be then evaluating that player and working out whether their stats are sustainable and whether it looks like they will have continued returns in the future as well. So as always, you know, I like to just take a look at the touch maps. And what I would say is that touch map wise, Smith Rowe's looks really, really nice. It is interesting that he's on the left and the right. He can play number 10. He can play on the left wing, the right wing. I do think he is in their starting 11 now. And I think more often than not, it will be Pepe or Ødegaard dropping out. And I think Smith Rowe and Saka are the two more nailed players. Neither player out of Hwang and Smith Rowe are getting that many touches in the box, but as you can see from the touch maps, they are both getting touches in the box. It's just not in a massive amount. But Hwang plays up front alongside Jimenez, and Smith Rowe's obviously like a playmaker winger. So they're not likely to get as many touches in the box as your likes of like Jamie Vardy or Jimenez, even for an example. But really, really nice touch maps. If we take a quick look at the shot maps as well, you can see that both players are getting shots in the box, but Smith Rowe has had 13 shots and Hwang has had 7. Interestingly, all 7 of Hwang's have been inside the box, whereas Smith Rowe has had a few outside the box as well. But Smith Rowe appears to just be shooting on sight, which is really something to keep an eye on. You want your players to be as greedy as possible. You want your players to be shooting. And so it definitely makes for an interesting comparison between the two. Fixtures-wise, I've just got them up next to me. Interestingly, Arsenal and Wolves rank 7th and 8th respectively for attacking fixtures over the next 6 game weeks. So they've got very, very similar fixtures. Arsenal have Leicester, Watford, Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Everton. So that's a real mixed bag of some really, really, really good fixtures, but also some tricky ones. Watford, Newcastle are really nice, but Liverpool, Man United aren't really fixtures you'd want to target. That being said, Man United and Liverpool have conceded shots a little bit in the past, so you could still see a few opportunities for Smith Rowe. Wolves, none of them are quite that good, but they have a few good ones in there, and they're sort of more consistent, I would say. So Wolves have Everton, Palace, West Ham, Norwich, Burnley, and Liverpool. So I'd say a bit more consistently good, whereas Arsenal have those couple of really nice ones, Watford and Newcastle at home in particular. So fixtures-wise, there's not a lot to separate them. If we just take a quick look at the underlying statistics for them, you know, if you're on the player heat map section, scroll down, you can look at the statistics per 90, which we've got here, average statistic per 90. You can see straight away, obviously, Hwang scored more goals than Smith Rowe. He's also got double the expected goals. So straight away, the goal threat for Hwang, as you would probably expect because of his position, looks significantly more sustainable than Smith Rowe. So Hwang's XG is 0.45, whereas Smith Rowe's is 0.2. Shots-wise, as we've just seen above, Smith Rowe is taking more shots and he's having more shots on target. It just appears that those shots aren't from such a high XG. So it looks like Hwang is getting more of those sort of big chances, whereas Smith Rowe is getting a lot of shots in and around the edge of the box. You can see that shots in the box is slightly higher for Hwang, but it's definitely comparable. Goal assist-wise, Smith Rowe comes out on top because Hwang has had 0 assists. Expected assists, they're both quite low. Neither of them are creating that much, but Hwang again comes out on top there. Attempted assists, though, Smith Rowe is at least attempting more assists at 1.63, whereas Hwang is only 0.21. So what I think you'll find, as we saw today with the Wolves game, is Jimenez is creating the opportunities for Hwang to hopefully finish, and that seems to be a partnership that's really developing. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on that and seeing if that continues. Big chances created, interestingly. All of his assists are coming from big chances. So when Hwang does create, they tend to be pretty good chances, whereas Smith Rowe is creating a lot of half chances for his teammates. And crosses-wise, they're both pretty low, but Hwang is taking slightly more crosses. So out of the two, I'd probably say Hwang slightly more, but what I would say, I think long-term, I do think Smith Rowe is the more nailed of the two. I don't think that Hwang will lose his place anytime soon, but with Podence, Neto, Adama Traore, etc., Jimenez as well, there's only a few spots to try and fit quite a few players into. So I do think Hwang and Smith Rowe are both nailed for the immediate short term, but I think over the long term, Smith Rowe is probably the more nailed of the two. But both are great options. I guess what I would say is it just depends whether you need a striker or a midfielder. But they're both budget options. Both look like they're going to be rising in price very soon. Hwang almost definitely tonight. Smith Rowe will be touch and go. So guys, there you have it. Those are the predicted price changes for this evening. Just a reminder, as I said at the start of the video, there's a lot of transfer activity happening over the weekend as people knee-jerk to their players being benched, injured, etc. And if a specific player such as Mason Mount has an amazing game, people just start bringing them in straight away. So when I record this video, it might look like one thing's about to happen, but by the time it goes live and then by the time you eventually watch the video, often those things have completely changed. So after watching this video, check the price changes for yourself by heading over to the Fantasy Football Fix website or by downloading our free app. And in that way, you are staying informed and you can use the latest, most relevant information possible. If you are enjoying the content here on this channel, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel so much. We're bringing you daily content, and we really hope you are enjoying it. I'll catch you tomorrow evening in another daily price prediction video. So until then, guys, thank you very much. Bye-bye.